sort of a piece of the pulley, and the whole thing came down.
You should buy us one.
And now I'd like to introduce Markkula, who is the president of the Committee of the Regions in the European Union. And as Mr. Markkula gets ready, I will say that there is a famous discussion now that cities and the metropolitan regions are becoming the driver of change and progress because they are of the human scale to influence events. And a scholar that I once worked with has coined the term city-states, C-I-T-I, not spelled like with a Y, but city-states, a sort of return to the Renaissance. And these regions, these metropolitan regions that Mr. Markkula is involved with, may be the drivers of the future that we're all looking for. Mr. Markkula.
Thank you very much. Really, you made a very nice and challenging introduction. And so I'm really going to show a bit more detail, so what I mean with especially with the regional innovation ecosystems, and link that to the open innovation, innovation platforms, entrepreneurship, startup activities, that kind of activities, which will be much more in both the political but as well on the concrete implementation discussions during the next couple of years than they are at the moment. I have here a few slides and try to show with them some evidence why this development is really going to happen and what Oulu and the other cities and region can do really to tackle these challenges, be at the forefront of the development. And I start with this slide and recommend that in maybe a couple of weeks, so there will be the publication out from the print, a special report by Lambert van Nistelrooy, one of the MEPs, members of the European Parliament, who has really done extensive work during the last couple of years. And there he reviews deeper on with his colleagues on what is, how to link the smart city development to regional innovation strategies based on smart specialization. Kind of instrument that is heavily already in Europe and coming to be more and more of the instrument that really has a strong impact. And part of his message and part of the message going through Europe at the moment is really that the cities and urban areas, they are really the drivers of change. And one thing to show that this evidence really must be true is that already 3/4 of the people in Europe live in cities, in urban areas, and not to forget the rural areas. But that is something that, and everyone knows that we need to renew the city processes, and especially to see the new role of a city as an enabler of a kind of a business-based collaboration, more focused on using the modern technology, including really the digitalization, which is much the driver of change. Talking about the ecosystems and especially bringing that to the city planning and urban development, so that's a bit complicated. But we are simplifying that through the Committee of the Region by looking kind of 3 different layers. First, the whole region on a broader scale, kind of smart region, and that really includes not only those city areas or just only the nearby villages, but really much larger area where the major city is having an impact. Today, briefly, in the morning, I discussed with the president, director of the Oulu University, and he mentioned Sodankylä as one of the ecosystem inside the Oulu universities and city of Oulu kind of working environment. Sodankylä, it's quite a small village, 100 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle, so quite far from here, but it really has its unique features and it's kind of an ecosystem as itself. Or there are a lot of the other ecosystems, even inside Oulu, it's not only one ecosystem, the city, but inside, and that's something kind of challenging. What are really the ecosystems that in the city has a strong impact with each other? So where the people communicate, they collaborate very heavily, they share their same development interest, and mobilize the acting elements, the factors for their effective use. And then a third layer there, so it's the, what we can call the city innovation, something going through and where a certain group of people are focusing their work either through the public sector or the private or the combination of those. And all this requires really this deepening the understanding what is the collaboration between the business life with the university and other research institutes, with the city, and the third sector as well. Definitely the role of citizens is getting more and more important. Few examples of this. So the Berlin region as a city, it's not only one ecosystem, it's really more or less, if we look from the innovation perspective, it's more or less around 10 different ecosystems. Each of them having their own activity, their own specific either the features that it's based on or their focus area, what is there. There are these dots there, so one is focusing on clean tech, one is focusing on medicine, and one of those is the Aldershof, the science industry collaboration platform, which actually is using the Berlin historical structure, having many airports, and now using the empty space there. And then I have this slide about this Aldershof as really kind of evident development where they have invested heavily during the last 10 years and brought that as to be one of the scientific incubator places in the whole Europe. Very important one, very concrete activity, still a lot of construction going on, a lot of new development, but it's a kind of typical where the science park has been giving boost to this business development. What is missing there is more still that how to get the normal people together, and that is something that we can have other examples of other ecosystems where kind of residence area, normal residence area is getting much out of the existing science and business community. And I take an example of that, what is in Finland, a quite large development area as well. So in Helsinki-Espoo area, we are extending the metro, the subway from downtown Helsinki to the west. And the metro, the first part, 8 metro stations will be taken in active use the end of next year. And that is having a huge urban impact because it's underground. But it gives a strong boost for all the development. And one of those targets is so really that we bring residence activities to what used to be the high-tech industrial headquarter area in Keilaniemi, and then in the university campus area, Otaniemi. So it's not anymore the same in a couple of years' time. There are a lot of heavy investments on plan there, a lot already going on, and that's kind of developing that as an ecosystem. The investment, the driver of that in a way is this metro line, but that's not the big thing. The big thing is really what happens with the urban development there. And an example, because that's an area where for about 70,000 new inhabitants, that means as well 10 new schools. But we don't want to build them in a traditional way that, okay, we look a location for a house and say that that house is a school. Please, children and teachers, go in there. We want to start that from the pedagogical perspective. So school from that now on, it's not anymore a traditional building, but the schools, children, they are moving along the metro line as well. Most of their sports facilities are in the sports park using those facilities. Some of the chemistry lab work are organized at the Aalto University premises and so on. A lot of companies are as well providing space for this kind of new development. It's much more flexible, it's much more, let's say, productive in a sense, but it's very development oriented from the pedagogical perspective for learning. And that kind of development, what we need to do, and I made here graphics already originally a couple of years ago, so how we are moving from a single project to more what we can talk about extensive mega endeavors. So a group of different projects which are operating as regional innovation, but as well as test beds. And that's conceptualized then a lot with the research done at the Aalto University, but integrating with many other universities. There are certain criteria for the planning, ecosystem, collaboration, knowledge triangle, triple helix, or moving from triple helix to regional innovation ecosystem. And the two challenges facing our mentality is so that we need to create much more synergy with the ongoing global research having similar interests, so building European partnerships using the already ongoing regional development activities. And there is a strong cultural change from managing a project or several projects as separate, orchestrating, doing that jointly as a mega endeavor, so something different. And this shows as well an example how that kind of development are used not only in Finland but elsewhere as an innovation camp, which one of those focus areas last summer linked to the Open Innovation EU conference was linked to this West Metro corridor activity. A lot of enthusiastic people who are anyhow committed to that development, so how they now did that jointly. But what I'm challenging that as well, so that we need to integrate better use of digitalization with this kind of development. This is altogether a 800 million euro development, that future internet with the title Fiverr. And there it's especially developing the instruments, the tools, open service platform, and open innovation ecosystem. And here my final slide. So it's kind of story of three acts. The first one is audit where we are at the moment. The next one is so how to plan, what is the global context of that, who are our best partners to move on, and finally, what are the concrete steps to be taken to be moved to that ecosystem. And I've used myself that has been my own planning and learning process as well. So entrepreneurial mindset, deeper understanding what is innovation, and integrate all that on concrete measures to change not only your own environment, but globally and European-wide as well. And I finish here with having a link to this book, talking more about the ecosystem and how that can be used as an instrument to change. So we have here a nice back cover wordings by Commissioner Carlos Moedas, so what to do and why this kind of development is needed throughout Europe. So you will get the slides as well through the organizers, so you will have a chance really to go a bit deeper and think a bit some of those elements that are described in my slides. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Markku.